Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping right into the fascinating framework of KSW 648. We're going to unpack some really unconventional and intriguing theories about human existence, the mechanics of sleep, and the cosmos. And it all builds up to this one totally mind-bending concept, the idea that your soul is actively trying to guide your daily life.
Okay, let's dive into this. You know that feeling, right? You're in a totally new situation. Maybe you're just walking down a street you've literally never been to, and suddenly you're hit with this overwhelming, inexplicable sense of déjà vu, that absolute certainty that you have been here before. Now, we usually just brush that off as, a weird glitch in the brain, but what if it isn't a glitch at all? What if it's actually a direct message? Today, we're exploring a framework that says these moments are way more significant than we realize.
So, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The dual nature of emotion, 2. The porthole to the universe, 3. The nightly handover, 4. Déjà vu and the soul's guidance, and 5. Connecting to the cosmos. Starting with section 1. The dual nature of emotion. So, according to this framework, humanity kind of suffers from a blindness to its own duality. Our existence is almost schizophrenic, completely split between two things. First, you have physical emotion, which is entirely tied to your daily waking life, your immediate environment, all those daily stresses. And then you have the emotion of the soul of man, or the STM. To really wrap our heads around this, think about it like this. Say you feel absolutely zero affection for your mother in your day-to-day waking life, but then in a dream you see her and you're showering her with incredible love, hugging and kissing her. Why such a massive disconnect? Well, these teachings propose that the soul's emotions are entirely separate. They just aren't controlled by your physical reality. They operate completely independently, and we mainly experience them during what the source describes as the soul's travels. Moving right along to section 2. Porthole to the universe. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it bridges that gap. If we have these two completely separate sets of emotions and experiences, how do they actually connect? The source does something really cool here. It redefines a beautifully ordinary part of our anatomy, the pupil of your eye. In this context, it's referred to as the black hole. And it's described not just as some biological lens to let light in, but as a continuous, unclosable passage for the soul to connect to universal energies. There's a profound assertion being made here. Because this passage is quite literally always open, the soul is continuously connected to its universe. Permanently shutting this connection? Well, that's what humanity calls death. And interestingly enough, the text impartially notes that eye color, whether you have blue, green, or brown eyes, is essentially just cosmetic. It's simply a physical adaptation to handle atmospheric pressure and your physical environment. But that black pupil right in the center, that is identical in every single human being. It's the soul's rite of passage. The teachings even suggest a functional division for this connection, which is pretty wild. They propose that one eye is utilized for the soul's energy going out, while the other is strictly for receiving. Basically, it's an incredibly efficient way to prevent a cosmic traffic jam.
Which brings us to Section 3, the nightly handover.
Since the soul is always connected, you might be wondering, what happens when our physical body shuts down for the night? The text describes falling asleep as a highly active, coordinated military command handover. You know when you've held someone as they're falling asleep and suddenly they give that little shiver or twitch? Modern science usually calls that the body releasing overcharges. But this framework argues that those physical shivers are actually the exact moment of the handover. It's the literal physical manifestation of the soul taking the reins so it can begin its nightly travels into the dimensions of the universe. And I absolutely love this metaphor. It leaves the physical body with a very specific job. The text says, quote, "Your physical body is nothing but a guard dog, physically, looking after the boss inside. So while the boss, the soul, is out traveling, the physical body just stays behind. It rests, sure, but it remains deeply alert, just like a loyal guard dog. Even with its eyes closed, the body is ready to jump at the slightest sudden noise or touch. And when it does, it instantly signals the traveling boss to come back home and take over the physical dimension once again."
All right, on to Section 4, déjà vu and the soul's guidance.
This concept of the traveling soul brings us to the absolute core focus of KSW 648. If our dreams are actually the recorded memories of the soul's travels through the universal community, then déjà vu is the ultimate manifestation of those travels bleeding directly into our waking life. It's not a misfire of your brain's neurons. It's a recorded memory of your soul's actual travels into the future. Your soul has literally already been to this exact moment. So when you feel that undeniable wave of familiarity, the text urges you to stop in your tracks and ask two direct questions. Why has my soul brought me back here? And what am I supposed to learn from this? And this brilliantly illustrates what the source calls a personal day of judgment. Déjà vu is essentially the soul providing you with advance warnings based on its prior travels. It has already seen the outcome of the exact situation you are stepping into, and it actively pushes that feeling to the forefront of your consciousness. Why? Just to see what you're going to do with it. So, how do we actually apply this guidance? Well, first, treat déjà vu as a clear warning. It's often meant to help you avoid a specific outcome, like an accident. You need to recognize that gut feeling as advice from a friend who has literally traveled there first. Crucially, the framework says you should never let your physical emotions, your ego, your immediate desires, or even your waking logic override the soul's guidance. The text is pretty blunt about this. Ignoring the soul's advice means you will, quote, pay for it. And that leads to that bitter realization where you're left saying, man, I knew I shouldn't have done that.
Finally, Section 5, connecting to the cosmos. So what's the end game here? What happens when humanity finally starts listening to the boss instead of just letting the physical guard dog run the whole show? The teaching suggests that right now, humanity is basically locked in a village going nowhere. We are essentially trapped in a prison of planet Earth simply because we continually prioritize our physical emotions over our soul. Progress requires complete trust. By trusting the soul, which, according to the text, never lies, never cheats, and has no debts, we allow it to wash away the dirt and damage of our physical life. And that is what ultimately opens the door for us to join the universal community.
Now, the source material doesn't just leave it at theory. It actually offers practical exercises so you can confirm this for yourself. One fascinating recommendation is to wear stereo headphones to sleep. The idea is to adjust the sound barrier until you hear not with your ears, but with the very center of your brain, effectively pinpointing the soul. Then you record the future scene dreams that follow. Another incredibly simple exercise is to just look in a mirror. Gaze right past your eye color and deeply acknowledge the black hole of the pupil. Which brings us to the ultimate question laid out by these teachings. The next time you stand in front of a mirror, what are you going to see? Will you just see the superficial, physical beauty of your eye color? Or will you recognize the sheer majesty of that black portal, the continuous, unclosable passage that feeds your soul and connects you directly to the entire universe? It's a genuinely profound thought to leave you with, and it definitely challenges everything we thought we knew about our bodies, our sleep, and our ultimate destiny. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and I'll see you next time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 649th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, July 2nd, 2026. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Education Department, and part of the Public Teachings in English. My name is Rick Kremen, and I'll be host once again in this weekly series of workshops. And once again, we have the honor of being joined with Mr. Mehran Keshe, who will be presenting today's program. So please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers from Keshe Foundation and Spaceship Institute. We welcome you back. The intro video is the traces of our memories from Fabio. This week is 10th year that he's not with us. And what you saw is him, the way we saw him, the way he was with us, even he was with us for about a couple of years. His joyfulness, his happiness, every woman who fell in love with him. He was in love with life. And most of the pictures you see him with Naomi is the pictures we saw at work every day. I remember he joined us first in the teaching, and then Naomi joined us. And we gave a front office desk as you come in to Naomi, and he had a table on the other side of the room. And when I came back one day, the two tables were next to each other and the chairs were next to each other. And they were kissing each other. I said, this is how the Keshe Foundation should be. And that table and chair stayed in that position for the rest of the time they were with us. And as you all remember, he most probably is one of the most, what I call souls which affected the course of the Keshe Foundation. With his assassination, we left Italy because there was no room left to be in Italy. And as I always said with the police of Italy, this wasn't an accident. There are too many things which even everybody agreed. You cannot fall out of the car some 10 meters away at high speed and have no bone broken. So the rest is in the hand of authorities, and the rest of it is still ongoing. After 10 years, it's not concluded. But in his memory of his joyfulness, we are calling one of the buildings in Space City in his name. And I'm sure many of you, when you visit the Space City, you remember him. His love, his joyful life. And he literally lived a true, what I call Keshe Foundation ethos. I have many, many memories with him. And his cheekiness, his naughtiness, and this was increased by 10 times, maybe more, when you put the other half to her, which was Naomi. And one of the things which I can never forget, and something will carry you for the rest of life, is my young son was always around the foundation. I asked Fabio and Naomi, can you teach him some Italian? You know, he goes to school, he needs to speak. He was getting educated privately at home, even though after 1 year he got higher mark in Italian literature than the Italian students in his class without even not attending the classroom. Then I saw, because we made the room for my son in the building that they could teach him, two of them. And I walked in one day and there was no world language going on. There was no Italian words going on. There was a lot of sign language. I said, what's going on here? He said, oh, if he doesn't learn the swear words the Italian way, he hasn't learned Italian. We are teaching him that. I said, I didn't ask you to teach him rude words. He said, this is how he learns Italian, Mr. Keshe. This is how we communicate. And I realized the life was more than words. I said, I don't know what to do with you three. I walked out. I said, just don't teach him too much bad words and too much bad signs. This is the way he is. He's still with us. And his assassination was the cause that Keshe Foundation moved out of Italy, altogether uprooted, because where we nested was somewhere it was too close to Belgium. In any case, we remember him for the good things and the joys and loves and the laughter he brought us. And as you saw in one of the pictures, he lies on the white sofa. That's actually a front desk office. Anybody walked in, they see him. He said, they come in here. This is a land of place of happiness and joy. And this is how it was. And we celebrate his life in Keshe Foundation. Going back to the teaching. In the past sessions, we spoke about how physicality joins the what we call the soul of the man. We spoke about the eye of the man, how our soul uses the eye. There's another sense of motion which we as humans are baffled by it. Many research is done on it. Humanity has bent backwards in trying to understand it. Is catching. It's like that atom that one turns, the other one turns. And we always say, how come is this? How come that every time one does it, the others do? And there's a lot of knowledge in this, which I open a book of knowledge about the soul, that then you understand how your physicality follows and how the handover of the soul to physicality is. And in a way, mom calls you, it's bedtime. And you say, no, I want to just one little bit more. And then you go and grab something to eat or do something, or you decide it's time to go to bed. Many of you have done this. I'm sure many of you have discussed this. It's one of the topics that doesn't miss any of us. We talked about the eye. Now we come to the dimension of what we call the lymph of the man, the soul of the man, and the physicality of the man, and another part of the life, which is the lung, which connects the soul of the man, energetic conditions with the physicality. You all yawn when you go to point of tiredness, or when you see somebody yawns, you yawn back, and the other one goes the same. Why is it catching? Mankind could not explain. Now, for the first time, you might understand why you yawn and why it's catching. Yawning is the handover shake of the physicality of the part of the body to the soul. In a way, you still want to do things, but the soul says, time up, bedtime. Mama says, go to bed, I have job to do. So the energy released, conversion of the energy of the lymph to physicality needs certain amount of free energy, what we call the air. What do you do when you yawn? You take huge amount of air. You raise the functionality of the conversion of the free assets of magnetic field into your lung. You supply this to the soul, and you supply this to the what we call synchronization of the limbs, and your physicality has to follow. It's the only way it can go, and it follows. So from now on, whenever you yawn and you try to beat the sleep, no, this is the soul saying, come on boy, it's handover time. And it's strange enough, if you are connected in the soul with someone, if you are connected in the energy balance, being in the same room, eating the same food, or being in the same atmosphere, when you turn one atom, the other one turns. So when the soul creates that energy to hand over the physicality, is that frequency, is that bandwidth magnetic field which touches your soul. And your soul says, he goes to sleep, I'm going as well. He's handing over, we're going to have a soul party. So let's get the physicality into position that we can do. We are going partying together, but physicality doesn't know. Does not matter if you're a stranger, you met the first guy at first time on the bus stop. You yawn and he yawns. He was there for another purpose. The souls are friends. We're taking a trip. So now you understand, it's not just the black hole in your eye, but the soul has delivered, has developed, has brought about a system that subconsciously tells you, oh, it's time to hand over, boy. I have a trip planned. I'm going out for dancing tonight with the universe. Does not matter how hard you try to stop it, you won't stop. The handover is there. You can do something else. I felt tired. But you have to understand, there is a magic into yawning. You don't need to go directly to sleep. And that phrase, and that second, and that microseconds, nanoseconds of handover, the soul can do is trip and come back where he wants to go. If you persist, try to understand when, or if you can, the dreams you had the nights you yawned. We normally plan a functional British system, 6 o'clock wash, 6:30 in bed, 7 o'clock sleep. That's a pattern for every child in the British home. This is what happened to our soul. And over time, most of you have tuned yourself, your computerized remote control, 9 o'clock shift, 10 o'clock bed, getting up 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, back to work. So you don't need usually yawn. If you stay a little bit younger, longer than you are supposed to, it comes, oh, I'm telling you physically, get up to bed, close those eyes, I'll have a trip planned. Now you understand where your yawning comes from. Now you understand the reason. Now you understand the purpose. Now you understand physically you have two schizophrenic people in the same shell, and you see a guy, a beautiful guy, what I call the beautiful people, says, look, they're talking to each other. The guy's talking to someone. Yeah, it's exactly what you do. In a way, physically, your soul says, time up. You had your time to move around and do what you like. It's my time to look what I have to do. We agreed, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock bed is mine till morning. Look after it. I have a disco to go and I have a party to go on planet Zeus. You're taking my time. But what is important, what the world of science has not understood is, if you measure the emotion of the sleep at the point of the yawning or resting, you'll find the magic wave where actually the body creates magnetic field to transfer the soul. Transformation and transmutation of the soul in that position is all preset. And in the world of science, sooner or later, man will discover that. It's a specific frequency, it's a specific bandwidth, it's a specific space gap that we all create as humans when it's the handover time. It's the conversion of the energy of the universe to physicality dimension of the man. So next time when you yawn, you say he wants to go and play, I better park the car. Next time when you sit across your lover, your child, your friend, and you yawn and they yawn, says, oh, our souls are in the same, what you call, field of strength. And the other sits there and nothing happens. 10 people around the table, 4 of you yawn, and the other 6 watch. Then you know you 4 have another party. Or they have to go somewhere, you're the first one gonna say, I'm leaving the table. How many times when you start yawning, you try to stop yourself with every possible thing that the others don't see, don't realize, but you see they're fighting the same politeness, British way, not to yawn and the rest of it. But next time when you fight a yawn, understand you're delaying the process of the travel of your soul. He's got an appointment. You're locking him down. And you find out sometimes you yawn 2 or 3 times, one after another. Look at the space gap. The guy comes, goes, comes back again, goes. I have to go, boy, move. And then suddenly, nothing. I was tired, I was yawning 10 minutes ago, but now I'm not tired. The soul has done its trip. You didn't listen to the job, but tonight you'll pay for it. You'll watch what happens. In so many ways, humanity now understands about his eyes, now understands about his handover time. And as I said last time, when you do go to sleep, the full handover comes. This is the bell to ring, you got to go. The handover comes when you shake in the bed and they say, oh, it's near adjustment. It's time when the soul disconnects from physicality and takes its journey and time to go. Next time, every time you yawn, measure one thing. How long is intake? And how long is the what we call blowout? You breathe in for 5 seconds. You breathe out for 6 or 7 seconds. Watch if your breathe out is shorter than your breathe in. This is a sign of a lot of problem in physical life. Soul gets rid of all the leftovers which could be in the lung with a long extension of exhaustion, what we call you exhale. If your inhale is 5 seconds and your exhale in yawning is 4 seconds, you have physical, biological problem within the structure of the work of your, what I call the leech, the physicality of the man. If the inhale and exhale is about the same, you are more or less balanced. If your exhale is longer, much longer than your intake, you're pretty healthy. Then you understand the pattern where the lymphs work. The exhale is for the lymph to release the energies which are not needed on the dimension of the soul for exertion of the physical dimension of the life. You should have gathered this in few teachings before, when I told you put your legs up and your arms up, you counting 4 in, you count 6 out. When you extend the exhale, you work in the dimension of the lymph of the body. Inhale is what physically it takes for the body to work. The exhale is what actually the lymph does for its operation. In the coming time, I'll teach you a lot about your lymph operation and your breathing. You'll see even at the point of death, you don't take in, you let everything out that allows the soul to be released. It is not your blood circulation at the point of death which stops and releases your, what I call soul from the physicality. It's your lung and the energy that you have taken that switches at a given point that releases the soul. Because the soul does not take energy from your blood. There is no blood in the brain, but takes energy directly from the flow of your nostrils and your throat, directly inside. Then you understand, if the doctors one day understand this and develop technologies for measurement, they know when is the separation of the soul and the physicality. Then one day you understand why the lung was placed more or less in the shape of the brain, upside down, vertical. There is no difference between the shape of your brain and if you look at the fold of your brain from the top. It's like a pack of card which has been put sideways. And inside, instead of what you have, the soul of the man in the brain, the Creator has put the heart of the man. You have the solid matter around your brain, around the soul, in your physical dimension. That soul of the heart, soul of the physicality, is protected by the mixtures of the control of the soul of the man within the lung. Look at the shape where your heart sits and where your lung is, and look at the position of your soul and where your brain is. Literally tip it down 90 degrees. Your main brain, the back, the total brain, and the position of the soul, and look at your heart and the 2 lungs. Now you understand. If you turn the lung and the heart on its back, and you land the brain of the man on top of it, and adjust for the energy level of the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man, you get that spherical shape of the soul of the creation. I made man in the image of myself, so man cannot be any different than my structure. What you find in between is your gland, which sits just under the separation which translates between the two. The third line, if it fits everything together, you'll find out the world of the man is the world of creation. The smaller the chili, the hotter it gets. Physicality needs a lot to control its solar physicality, to energize it, so it uses bigger capacity environment of the two lungs. The soul of the man does not need that shield because it's smaller, it's hotter, higher energy, and can do with the brain. There is a ratio, direct ratio, according to the space inertia of the place, which relates to the brain of the man, to the lung of the man, and thyroid gland. And if you understand the ratio, it makes you black, it makes you white, it makes you Chinese, it makes you Indian, it makes you everything else. Lung, heart, the brain of the man, and thyroid gland. If you understand that mankind finds a ratio between the three, mankind can determine the time of death. Mankind can determine the time of separation of the soul and the soul of physicality, or if you can understand the work of it, understand when it can transmute. Because in transmutation, you have to bring the soul of the physicality inside the soul of the man for it to be protected the way the soul of physicality protects the soul in the dimension of physicality. The knowledge of creation is no different. It's the man who has made it hard because it does not understand the process of creation is in two dimensions, the energy and the physicality. You all have seen this. We give you a copper in physicality, and then you have the energy in GANs. There is no difference in the world of creation. Matter, vegetation, life in the shape of the man as a flesh, and life in universe in the space of time, place, position, and strength as a plasma. Then you understand why all you Chinese are short, all you North Europeans are tall, why you are white and the other one is Chinese and the other one is black, and the position between the soul and the soul of physicality and thyroid gland decides your behavior. All Chinese behave this way, all the whites behave this way, all the blacks behave this way. You move those, any of those, slightly in a different position, inherent in the space gap of the life, then you see you will change. You change dimension and direction, you become black, as we saw during the corona, how Chinese and white turned up black. Orientation of absorption of the field through the dimension of the field strength of the calcium. Now you understand how you're yawning, which you did all your life, you still do. The last yawn is your last breath. When you send a message, there is no more to hold on to the dimension of physicality. This happens to stars, we call it supernova. This happens to man, it happens to planet, it happens to the cells in the body of the man, it happens in the plasmas in the universe. There is no exception. Now you understand fully why you yawn. And next time you yawn, say, he wants to go, I better hit it. He wants his freedom because he's going to bring me some gifts. Where he goes, what he does, that will affect what I do in my dimension of physicality when I wake up. I go into bed, and mom in the kitchen is still cooking. When you wake up, it says, "Come on, darling, lunch is ready." I packed your backpack, and I made your food ready to go to school. Next time you yawn, ask yourself one question. Am I going to keep him more to dimension of physicality, or am I going to go and let him free to enjoy me as me in the dimension of energy? I hope you open your eyes in the new dimension of life. And I hope you understand what it means in what you do, as you have to understand your I and your emotion of the yawning, because the I sees through as your soul does the soul of the other. And when the soul changes through the I, so does follows the physicality of the separation of the time through the breathing of the man. When you look at someone yawning, soul to soul message, so I do the same. Let's call it a day. I hope you learned something today, and if you know how to use it, you become one step closer in controlling your transmutation. As now you understand what I've been telling you in the past, by changing the rhythm of your breathing, you can control your transmutation. Now you understand how, and now you understand the way to do it. If you breathe through your nose, you achieve transmutation in different dimensions. If you breathe through your mouth, you achieve transmutation. If you breathe in through the nose and exhale through the mouth, you achieve different plasma and field strength. If you breathe through your mouth and exhale through your nose, you achieve different position. And in the future, I teach you how you can change this, how you can balance for the position. Many, many masters in the East learned this, but they were so, what I call selfish, that never taught the man. You have to release the pressures on blood vessels. You have to release no need to control by blood to engage the soul of the man. It's a process. And maybe next week I'll teach you the process. When the magnetic field of the blood vessels has no connection and loses what I call grip on the soul of the man. And then, if you can do that, train yourself, you can transmute with a fling of a finger. We come to another sensory next time. And if you come to that, understood that, you're more or less near enough to complete your transmutation. But if you understand further beyond that, you can call upon the soul of the universe to enter the dimension of the life of the man, which makes man a man of the universe. You don't go out with rockets. You bring the universe to you by dimension of invitation of the soul of the man. If you thought you can escape from the village of the earth with your rockets and UFOs, oh mankind, you have a lot to come. You cannot go when you cannot invite. And the soul of the man, through the dimension of his physicality, has that gift to do, to invite. You invite your lover in. You don't go and jump on your lover. Learn from Fabio, and you become fabulous. We go for a break, and we come back, and we carry on with the rest of the teaching of life in the universe. Rick, take us for a break, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. All right, as mentioned, we will have a short break, and in the second part, we'll have an opportunity to ask questions of Mr. Keshe. And those in our Zoom here, which just turned 100 attendees, you can raise your virtual hand and then we can recognize to open your microphone. And those in YouTube, or if you'd like to put a text question in YouTube or in our Q&A or the webinar chat, then you can use those as well. Okay, I have a little ad on the Keshe coin here to have a look at, and we'll be back shortly.
In a world where value is measured from the outside, we have forgotten the profound wealth that lives within. For too long, the pressure of survival has created a distance between us, leaving the most vulnerable to struggle in silence. But wealth is not found in scarcity or control. True value begins with the human spirit and the knowledge we share. Imagine a moment where every new life is recognized, not as a burden, but as the initial capital of our future peace. At the first breath, a child receives recognition. An equal foundation is set for food, medicine, education, and dignity. No one is left behind. From every corner of the earth, the same recognition is granted. Equality is no longer a dream, it is the protocol. Behind this vision lies a secure, decentralized infrastructure, a blockchain built for service, not speculation. This network is the pulse of a new humanity, low energy, transparent, and grounded in collective responsibility. When basic needs are met, the mind becomes free, education replaces survival, and knowledge creates the path to peace. Through participation and service, we express our true value. We are no longer competitors. We are contributors. Our technology now serves life. The scars of the old world are healed by the wisdom of the new. We are one people, on one planet, moving toward one destiny. The shadows of the past have finally given way to the light. When we stop fighting ourselves, we begin to search the universe. Peace is the foundation. The stars are our destination. Our journey into the deep mysteries of existence has only just begun. We turn toward the stars with open hearts. Value begins with the human, grows through knowledge, and evolves toward an eternal peace.
Okay, we are back again at the 649th Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, July 2nd, 2026. And as promised, we will have an opportunity for questions, but first, Mr. Keshe always has a few things he would like to say. So please go ahead, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you very much. Rick, check your line. I sent you something else which you can play. As you're aware, the first batches of ONN are already on the move, and soon will be with you a lot. And the second batch will be out sometime next week. Now it's become truly a coin operation. The system that what we call will start bringing the changes in. There are a few misunderstandings in the Keshe Foundation, what we call knowledge seekers, that has to be cleared legally and correctly. The Keshe Foundation coin is valued at €1,000 and is only exchangeable with the Keshe Foundation products. You can purchase them as a donation and then buy what you like with it within the framework of the Keshe Foundation products. At the moment is what is in Keshe Foundation website. Those of you who are Chinese, you can purchase it for the products, agricultural products, and the rest which is in China. And any materials we produce. Many of you bought coins and you converted it to GANs balls, what we call cosmic ray balls. And what you do with it is yours, it's not ours. We do the same thing with those who are some of the people who buy cash coins and then in the future they buy products and give it to their friends and family as a gift, or they keep. So be very clear that a cash coin at this moment of time is not exchangeable for currency. We are not a cryptocurrency game. We are a coin within the structure of the Keshe Foundation and not outside. And this is why we can keep our value at equivalent to €1,000 and not get involved in anything else. What do you do, who you give, what you do with your coin as a gift, as whatever, it's your job. What you get for it is your concern, not ours. And we are very clear about this, as the cash coins are now actually on circulation. The first batches of the coins has allocated, has left, and is not in the bank, the vault of the Keshe Foundation as such, but now is in the hand and is gradually getting divided amongst the people. Some of you we trust closely will be given the opportunity to receive the first batch of 30 coins as you are over 30 years old, 20 years old, and your annual, what we call share, is 30 coins if you call upon it, or you can keep it till one day you call upon it. But again, that day you still get 30 coins. It doesn't become, I didn't use it for 10 years, I should get 300. So in the next few days and weeks, some of you, which we contact personally, will receive batches of your first 30 coins. Please look after it, because when you lose it, you can't reach it. There is a process as part of the structure that you have to learn. You keep it in your wallets and you keep it safe. And if it gets stolen, let us know, because nobody can steal more than 30 coins from you. We replace it, because we try to find out how it's been, where it's been, and what happened to it. So if you lose your cash coin wallet, never cry. You haven't lost a thing. You sit with a solid structure of the Keshe Foundation. And this is what makes secure for us to operate. If you looked at the end picture in the video, it tells you from 0 to 10, your mother, your parents, your guardian receives 10 coin in your name, which is, you can exchange it, they can exchange it within the Keshe Foundation structure the valuation of what it be 10,000 euro. You will understand even this 10,000 worth millions. Very shortly, you will understand more and more. When you are between 10 and 20, the allocation is 20 coins per year, which is 20,000. When you pass 20 and above, you get 30 coins. So if you calculate from the point of birth, from let's say next week when the first children get their coins, or next month, he uses 100 coin for the first 10 years. He uses 200 coins for the next 10 years. That's 300 coins. It leaves you with 700 coin, which is 20 years, 25 years of guaranteed life. But from what we know, what we understand is very soon, the way the structure of the development is going, you can have an apple for 1 cent through the cosmic ray technology. You can have a chilo kebab for 1 cent, again through the same technology. You receive your education in the dimension of the plasma technology, maybe for half a cent or 0.1 cent or 1 cent a year. You understand, many of you will not even use even 1 coin a year. And the guarantee of this is that it does not matter if you are in China, you are in London, you are in Tehran, you are in Africa, your coin are all valued the same. No speculation. Nobody says, oh, the price is going to 10,000. No, the price is now 6,000. I lost my livelihood. For the first time, we bring security. For the first time, we bring peace of mind. For the first time, we look after you from birth to death the way the Creator has done. It's not anymore a dream. Systems are out, coins are out, and now is how we process it. These coins have been offered to the Iranian government for every Iranian national. 1,000 coin allocation. And the Iranian government have been told they allocated 100 coins per citizen to the government. They can call upon 10 coins a year for 10 years. Yesterday I had a meeting with the Palestinians. The Palestinian nation, through the suffering and where they stand, initially are offered double the allocation of what we call the coins, as they have to reset their lives across the wherever they go, and life has to be meaningful. We take all the coins away from the nation of Israel, citizens born, anyone with a structured connection to Israel. The same is applied to the state of Belgium. And these are given to support Palestinians and those who become homeless through the acts of the aggression by every other nation. They've stolen enough from physicality in the soul of the man. Yesterday I sat, and the day before, listened to a Palestinian with a handicapped child of 6, had to hand ties in his back with other Palestinians, watching a mother and a daughter being raped by the Israeli soldiers in front of them where the father died. He said he watched rape every day. I have asked him to record the events of him being in a Palestinian camp in past 2 years, and now he's free in the West. Names and everything else, no accusation. He has lost 42 members of his family by rape, killing, and bombing. We are not taking side. We are explaining the rootlessness of mankind, and we don't want this to go into the what we call the universal community. When an Israeli soldier rapes a mother and a daughter in front of the father, that the father dies of heart attack, it means there is no human. Animals don't behave this way, and there is no room for animals in the structure of the Keshe Foundation. It's so the same thing with Fabio. So it's very easy. The process started and everything is on the move. The units have left the Keshe Foundation, and through the way they are going, the first batch is with you, trusted knowledge seekers who become the frontier independent of this, what we call the top structure. The coins have already been allocated to the keys, and everything is on the move. We have enough to support humanity for 100 years. Governments can build universities, government can build structures to support the nation, and the Keshe Foundation will support it through the structure. Step by step I will explain. Step by step I'll explain how we support governments. One of the prime points, as you can see on the writing, every nation to be qualified to receive the 100 coins for their citizens. The signing of the World Peace Treaty. Never get involved. Iranian government has declared they have no problem signing with this document. Don't forget, in 2008, Iranian parliament signed that the technology will not be used for offensive purposes. We'll get this ratified one by one once it's completed with every nation, every citizen on this planet. As you can see, the condition is the companies, the governments, the individuals have to sign to and adhere to the rules of the coin and its work through the Keshe Foundation Association in Austria. It's yours, and you have to understand how to use it, how to protect it, and how to push, after I'm gone, that the rights of every man on this planet is protected. I set the structure. You are the guardians. No nationality, no color, no race will change any of it. Set up association in your countries on the same rules as the Keshe Foundation Association in Austria. And link your associations, register it with the Keshe Foundation Austria, that you become part of it, that it allows your people to use cash coins freely within the structure. When most of the citizens of your country are part of your association, and part of association is the Keshe Foundation Association in Austria, you are linked to become one family. It's your job, not ours, and your association has to be directly copy of the Keshe Foundation in Austria. No deviation. And plus what is getting set up as part of the structure of the connection of the industrial use by association or the structure set up in Switzerland. It's beautifully getting set up. It's way of voting, and the thing is very close to the association of the Keshe Foundation in Austria within the Swiss law. And I hope the Swiss Keshe Foundation people can bring it completed very soon, that it becomes connected to the Keshe Foundation in Austria as an association, and at the same time gets connected financially, industrially to the Keshe Foundation in China with the Space City, which means we connect everything together, that there is no loophole for anyone to abuse. One side, you become part of the work of the Association of the Austria, which is based on the work of everyone having a say. On the other hand, you set up in a way of industrialization financially benefits your citizens and the others through connection with the Keshe Foundation or work of the companies in China. We use it as a pivot point that we lock you on both ends. And this way, in the very near future, the Keshe Foundation, through its arm of financial arms of market corporation, will sign the same agreement with the Keshe Foundation Austria, which means we lock the three, the products, the financial market, and what we call the work of the Keshe Foundation coin will lock into each other. It's a matter of a few weeks. As now we release the coin, we are ready to take the steps which has been set up for years. Very soon we release, once the Swiss structure is completed for the financial side, and once the completion of the association of the Austria is completed, we'll put it up. You follow the same, set up the same structures that nobody can touch, nobody can rule, nobody can decide for you, but the citizens of your nation. And we lock everything stage by stage to the companies in what we call manufacturing, supporting the technological side, to the operation of the foundation in what we call cash coin, and directly as market corporation becomes registered with the what we call association in Austria, locked into the American stock market. The circle is complete. We are ready in the next few weeks to bring humanity to where no man needs to worry about where he's born and how he's born. I would like you to look at another video of the same range of the Keshe Foundation coin operation. Rick, do you have it ready to go?
Yes.
Please play.
Just a second here while I...
These are a series of the Keshe Foundation videos in combination and association with the cash coin. They are not exchangeable, they are valued and only applied within the Keshe Foundation. Can you go?
Okay, here we go.
In a world of boundless potential, we have often forgotten our most precious resource. Mothers who dream of a better life for their children, yet face the harsh reality of lack and need. Food, medicine, clothing, and education, the basic pillars of human dignity, remain out of reach for so many. Humanity has forgotten the value of the child, but that is about to change. Introducing Keshe Coin, not just a currency, but a humanitarian digital infrastructure designed to restore dignity to every human being. It begins where life begins, with the recognition of every child's inherent value. The initial step. Upon birth registration, every child receives 1,000 Keshe coins, subject to conditions. With each coin valued at 1,000 euro, the path to a dignified life is opened. Access to food, healthcare, and growth is guaranteed. This is powered by a secure global blockchain network, a digital foundation built for humanity. An infrastructure of validator nodes and transparent data, ensuring that resources reach those who need them most. From the shadows of poverty, we see the first light of transformation. Families gaining the security they deserve. Education becomes a right, not a privilege. Knowledge grows through humanity, opening doors to a new future. We are building a world where social well-being is the standard, where every home is safe and every clinic is functioning. This is the realistic future we achieve through knowledge, technology, and the unwavering pursuit of peace. A functioning global network of human value, connecting one planet, one nation, one race. The transformation is real. It is the recognition that our collective future depends on the value we place on each other. Keshe Coin restores the dignity that was lost, creating a legacy of opportunity for the generations to come. Peace is not just the absence of conflict. It is the presence of justice and value. One planet, one nation, one race. A singular vision for a unified humanity. As we find peace on Earth, we look toward the stars. Our potential is no longer bound by our struggle. Peace opens the path to the universe. Knowledge leads us into the infinite. Keshe coin, because the value of humanity begins with the child, and our peace opens the path to the stars. Join us in building the future. Keshe coin, one planet, one nation, one race.
Thank you very much. This is the way the Keshe Foundation goes. It's taken years to work it. You've been with us for over 20 years, many of you, helping us step by step to reach to where we are and how we set it up. And we have a bigger goal. This is the beginning of bringing the humanity on equal basis. If we get resistance from governments and those who see their position in danger, there's always a way for us to operate. But once this is completed, Mitra will bring you in what we call on the horizon of joining the universal community. My job is to set the ground. It's Her Majesty's job to invite the United Nations of the universe to humanity to unite. And in so many ways, we have laid what are called the platform for a just humanity. Nobody needs to kill. Nobody needs to worry about what is the next step. Nobody needs to plan to kill man because there are too many on this planet. We can't feed them. As telephone lines and what we call gas power supplies and stations can feed the whole of the universe, let alone the man. These blood-sucking killing machines of those who now, because they have money, they think they can do it, the value of their, what we call feeble mind, is easier to progress than to fight. We progress and the fighting is for themselves to survive. Through the development of the technology, and especially now that the coins are released in what we call dispatch, outside the hand of those who could control it, as governments and Rothschilds and the rest, these people will not fight because you people will walk away from their need. In next 2 or 3 years, we will show you how to build the most beautiful, luxurious buildings, your homes, at a cost of 1 cent, 1 app to download. Energy of an apple and energy of a building for you to be in is no difference. And the way we do it, the value we do it, is not worth for the Chinese to copy it. And the way it's done, it will be developed. Billions of dollars of gold in national reserves will worth nothing, as any of you can produce as much as you like. In a signed contract with one of the leading nations, They plan to build 400 system to produce 400 tons of gold through Keshe Foundation for their industrial need. This is a signed, sealed contract. You understand how the leading nations understand the Keshe Foundation technology. We haven't signed contract with individuals. We signed contract with military, heads of the militaries, with generals of a nation. And you knowledge seekers sat with us, going through line by line of it. Now you understand why the change will come. Now you understand what is about to come. And this juggernaut of freedom of man from the physical chain to this planet has started breaking up. 9 billion is not enough. Universe needs more beautiful souls. Not by killing them, but by nourishing them in the right way from the point of birth. As you've seen in the video, no mother can worry about where the food will come from. Where am I going to make a shelter? What am I going to do for medicine? You knowledge seekers ate the orange, got flooded in your throat with water. You received technology and changed your illnesses and grew the tooth of a child hundreds of kilometers away from the center. In the coming time, you'll see the building of the shelter as is stated on our patent. You receive energies for transportation systems that you don't need anything, and it all cost €1. And we no use gathering gold, killing for it, and it's no use killing a man who store food to save a nation to be killed. Leaders work for betterment of man than for killing of the man. And it's all in your head. I'm just putting the blocks in the wall, another break in the wall, step by step. It's for you and your next generations, with the presence of most dearest loved ones, Mitra, with us, to make it attractive that the universe community sees us as a children of the universe and not as the murderer of the universe. I hope you enjoyed this trip. It's for your children and your children of children and the rest of it, and hopefully they will enjoy the joys of life in the universe. I was saying, the knowledge seeker, the Chinese have found a way to grow this third tooth. I wish the scientists will find a vaccine, as the Russian did with the cancer vaccine. Now it's become freely given to all the nations, and the Chinese have accepted it. The humanity make a vaccine that destroys, eliminates, killing in the memory bank of the man and in his blood. When any of you can produce such a vaccine, the mankind will move forward to the next, because it will be uprooted from inside. The vaccine of death. That it stops man killing. The vaccine of killing, which stops a man to kill to survive. It goes out of his habit. It becomes a part that he will not do. Does not matter what. Oh, we have started the beginning of a beautiful life for our children, our great-great-grandchildren, and their children, and when they walk across this universe, they remember us, what we sacrificed for mankind to be in this position. The first one was Fabio, and I hope there's not many more to come. Any questions?
All right, thank you, Mr. Keshe. I'll remind our attendees that you can raise your virtual hands and we can recognize you and allow you to open your microphone. And we do have a hand up here with Dean, so please go ahead, Dean.
Thank you, Rick. Good morning, Mr. Keshe. Thank you for everything that you've just put on the table, Mr. Keshe. So the implication of this is obviously huge, massive. Can you elaborate a little bit more on global governance? How is this structure going to be put in place when we have all these financial and political institutions and everything in place? How will this gradually take a position to replace this so that the world becomes this peaceful condition?
If you look at the end of the tapes, all the tapes carry a banner. The prelude to everything else is signing of a peace treaty. At the moment, a big part of the budgets of the government is going for defense and arms. Children die of hunger, but the soldiers get a gun in their hand to defend a way of thinking, to defend a way of robbing a nation. It's very easy if the governments decide to do it. It's very hard when the governments don't want to do it because it makes them money. There's a game on the internet you can buy for children. Interactive game is allowed in every nation on this planet, and the parents allow their children to play. Is nothing but killing and destroying and conniving, and there are people who monitor, who kill. You just got to go on. Don't want even to talk about it. One nation in the world has taken a stand. This game cannot be played in that nation. It's a criminal offense. State of Turkey. Because it's set up to abuse children, it's set up to teach children everything which is wrong, can be wrong, and do wrong to get what you want. And we're heading in that direction, where we make everything possible. Man does not need to kill. It's a beautiful contrast. If you have a boy, and if you have a girl, and you give them the internet, especially the young girl, is all playing with dolls and playing with horses and gentleness. The boys is all killing, fighting, destroying, and anybody plays anything which is constructive, peaceful, or you're a sissy. The environment pushes our children to become aggressive. The environment pushes our children to become what we call interactive for killing. Without, they used to become a soldier and kill when they were in teens and 20s. Now we make our children enjoy killing at the age of 2 and 3. We give them computer games. And now we fill stadiums, modern football stadiums, with how we destroy and then we demolish. So it has to come for governments to start understanding that these things have to be uprooted from the base. Children don't see killing. Children see the development of the science, how new technologies, how new ways of life is, the beauties of the world, than killing. We used to give a spoon in the hand of the child how to feed itself. Now we put them a what we call a panel, a piece of plastic, and we show them how to kill to win. We're feeding that. We feed them how to kill. And it's the governments who have to do this. And as we progress, condition of the world peace, that they have to agree a non-aggression world peace treaty, these games is part of that package. You bring peace from the beginning to a child. When what you don't show him, he doesn't know. It doesn't become part of him. We've seen this animalness in American behavior. Guns as free, computer games as much as you can kill, you get more. And we see the nation. On the other hand, we see the British system, which has done nothing but encourage stealing and everything else. From Queen Victoria became a lord, the more you stole. And to the present time that the whole nation sits on the back of what we can steal next. It's power. And when power has no meaning, service has more meaning, then you find out it will change. And the way we structured it, why we get the government to sign to Keshe Foundation, the structure is that any development for the nation, be it from building dams, launching the space programs, connecting the Keshe Foundation technology with the present technologies, and for evaluation and development of new industry, we finance. There is no shortage of funds for all the nations on this planet to the amount of the coins which are of circulation now, not to support. The biggest problem, you'll find out why we put this video on first. There are more videos of this coming up in the following weeks. Now that Space City in China is taking shape in a very beautiful way, the problem will come with pharmaceuticals. There'll be no need for pharmaceuticals. You will see very soon. The problem is there'll be no need for this, which means people take their medicine as the apple on the app. The second point is that nations which have raw materials like Africans will suffer heavily, because up to now they got robbed by the West, and now with the new technology nobody wants them, because you want aluminium, you don't need to go and mine, destroy a place to take aluminium halfway around the world to melt it, to do with it. With the new system, you produce your aluminium like in the microwave as much as you need in the factory. So our job in the Keshe Foundation now is to get these coins as fast as we can and get the whole nations to start using it before the Keshe Foundation technological development hits them. That they get the same education, they have food on the table through an app, and everything else. It's not governing, has to come from the top by understanding the problem, not governing from the top and just being proud I did something. And in Keshe Foundation, we are looking at problems, what problems the new technology creates, and we have to solve it before it gets, and we have to look for the vulnerable first. We need hundreds of millions of dollars to back us up in the next 2 years. Keshe Foundation, every scrap is used in one way or another to do to bring that till we get our financial side running, and the way going through is another step. We have to look at the vulnerable now, because the rich will stand if there is no aluminium and no gold from the Africa. That African child needs a food. And every nation, every citizen, every village, there is enough mobile phones for us to do it. Knowledge seekers are working on an app. In due time, within the Keshe Foundation, these apps are reachable. you register as a Keshe Foundation member to be able to use the app, which means we don't need dollars, we don't need yuan, you don't need euro. You deal within the structure of the Keshe Foundation coin. We are not looking to fight the governments. We are going with the people, that through people, the governance changes. So this is not, in a way, our concern, how we're going to get this government to listen. We set up the way, they have nothing to do with it, but in a way they can't govern. They follow the master which sits with the Universal Council. Conditions of collaboration were set up by the Council, and execution of it to be executed directly goes with the Earth Council. That's all we need to do. Don't worry how we're going to get governments to follow us. We deliver the food, we deliver the medicine, we deliver the education, we deliver the transportation through all one mobile system. And now with the one end and the cosmic ray antennas, very soon you don't even need a mobile. You think you receive. You don't even need to pay for it. Cash coin is a transition to what we call universal way of living. One of the reasons we are pushing with these ONNs is not trying to get you to get paid coins, is to be able to substitute what the planet did not provide and start man killing for his food, for his shelter. He could do it with himself. That it can be done with covering what was shortfall from the field of the planet. We mature with the ONNs, with the cosmic ray antennas in it. Now you understand the purpose. You think, you're hungry, you're fed. Your emotion wants gold, to have a gold ring on your finger. It'll be provided because then it's yours. Gold has no value, it's just the beauty of its shine. And this is not a dream anymore. The units are out. At this moment of time, we're operating in 4 nations with a number of these units and controlling units. And next week it will be 8, the following week it will be 12, next month will be another 20. And then meanwhile, a number of your knowledge seekers will receive a private call from me. And we invite you to accept your first 30 coins. It's not what is going to receive the call. We already have made call to a number of knowledge seekers. This has been done to test our systems. It's not done just because somebody is favorable. These are the people we trust. And we can monitor to see how those who are of the, what I call old man's behavior, can do things that we can stop. So if you receive a call from me in the next few weeks asking you would you accept your first 30 coins, then we go to the next step. Then our team watches how you spend it. We ask you to shop from the, what you call the Keshe Foundation website, to see where the problems are, how we can rectify. And this is your first 30 euro, what you call 30 coins. And don't worry, you can spend all of it. We still give you some more because you are supporting the teaching, learning, and pitfalls of our problems. In the next few weeks, a number of you will receive a call from me, and I personally ask you if you could join us, and some of you already have. And we do it to learn, we do it to understand, and we try not to give the coins to those who have the systems. That at the moment we can see the connections. Later on, everything will be done according to what is said. And please, once you receive the coins, please, once you receive the units, do not mention to no one. It's the trust between you and the Keshe Foundation. Any other question?
Thank you, Mr. K. So there's so many questions I could ask you about this. So
You're allowed 2. And if you were Jalal, we might let you 3.
okay. So one question that comes to my mind, to my thoughts, Mr. Keshe, would be: so we're going to have this position where you're going to have one half of the humanity have got wealth and position, and they're not easily going to let go of that.
We don't
that, you know,
care. We don't take it from them. Let them keep it.
yeah, no, that's what I mean. Let them have it.
So
That's not the
let them
problem.
have it. When you don't go to the supermarket to pay 20 euro for a kilo of strawberry, which is now in Europe, 20 euro they want, which is, if you calculate a kilo of strawberry in certain marketplaces in Austria is 20 euro. In the cheap range is 10 euro a kilo. And the guy in Africa walks and gets it free. So the guy can charge us 20 euro, but knowledge seekers presses a button, gets the taste, the emotion, and the energy of it. Which one do you think is going to taste?
So my question, Mr. Keshe, is if you have this position of privilege and then you are using it in a certain way, you always need the support of many, many others. No matter who you are, you need the support of cleaners, of plumbers, of electricians, whatever you want to call it. You know, the people that do things to make it function so that you have your privileged life. When those people start to connect and move away, the people in a privileged position are going to start to lose their position. It's going to be a gradual process, or it may be very fast. So what my point is, there's going to be the weaker giving to giving to the stronger, or the stronger giving to the weaker. But there's going to be a gradual repositioning on this planet, and so these wonderful, beautiful souls need to understand that the privilege and the responsibility they have is to all, not just themselves. And will they understand this when the moment comes where they have to flip, where they have to understand what has been going on?
Have you ever been through a revolution?
No, I haven't, Mr. Keshe, no.
I've been 2 times. And I've seen how privileges disappear when there is no money. And you have to understand, this is a British mentality, you know? British mentality is that, as you're a British, and I lived there 30 years, we both fully understand what we're talking about. In 1980s, and now I've seen it in Europe, we offered a job to a youngster to work. This happened hundreds of times, it wasn't just one-off situation. The youngsters used to come and say, excuse me, I'm getting so much from social, from the government. If you pay me 3 times more, I'll come and work. Otherwise, it's not worth waking up for. I get money for my bread, I get money for my electricity, I get my rent paid. Why should I come and work? This is going to happen to those who we give 10,000 euro to, balance equivalent of, they can convert in Keshe Foundation. I have a 10,000 euro balance every year, or 30 coins a year I can spend at Keshe Foundation. Why should I work? And then this is going to hit the rich. Why should I clean somebody's house? Why should I clean the streets? We have thought of all this, what's going to happen. But there's one thing with the humanity. Depends who leads the humanity. Depends who puts the dimension and direction to humanity, serving, being there to help, becomes a virtue. Not another cycle of, oh, I have it, I don't need to do. And the other one says, I have, you have to do it for me. If we learn to live, even though we have, will change a lot of things. And these are scared rich people and everything else will learn very quickly. When there is nobody to clean their house, there is no driver to drive them, there is nobody to clean the street, they will do it. Society collectively will work that way, will mature to it. It's not a voluntary work, it's keeping me busy, not to go insane. And this is what will happen with the rich and privileged. They keep their privileges, but they will live in a village. Most of them, they don't know how to cook. Most of them, they don't know how to clean. And so later, they live in their own dump.
But Mr. Keshe, isn't that going to cause the same thing again? You know, we have to draw that line. We have to give to all. So we have to just
Listen, the rich woman still gets his 30 coins.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Keshe.
You understand? We are not discriminating.
Thank you.
And you cannot donate it to somebody else. You cannot transfer your coins to somebody else. What I call working to give, to be a philanthropist does not exist in this structure because everybody has what they need. If you want more, if you want to live in a bigger palace, if you can find somebody to work for you to build it, and you sell something that is luxury, I like to have my energy coming through the glass ear with crystals in it, I pay more for it, so you made yourself a business. But does it mean the same? It doesn't stop people innovating and bringing new ideas, new jobs in, but it doesn't be at the line of poverty that you have to beg to live. Our first priority is third world nations in distribution of their coins. We don't go to the government. Your knowledge can go to your people, and it goes like a wildfire. We're not ready for it yet. A few more months, when all the systems are up and running, it's no use giving somebody a coin. Oh, you can have 30 coins a year, but what can I do with it? Unless the Keshe Foundation system in the background ready to supply the water, to supply the food. When the guy connects, press the app with the headphone, he gets relieved of his hunger, then we are in business. But it's normal. The first reaction for the first few months, for the first 3 weeks, I don't need to work because I press a button, I get it. But then gradually, through the same teaching, we get people moving. We will govern. Just correct and with peace. We won't fight. We use the emotion of the man to make man to bring motion to itself. Very simple.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I think, Mr. Keshe, from what you're saying, also what you said earlier was very, very important. For many, just that the sheer ability to have a presence in a home, to be able to have a shelter and food and medicine and all these things, but the shelter for many that live, that they don't even have. Some people, there's many that don't even have phones, so that they struggle from the moment, from basically from birth, and
it's not there anymore. It will not be there anymore. It will not be there. Once we release the coins to the third world nations, we will try with your knowledge, because you lot who are given the coin is, firstly, you don't touch it, you just wait. We tell you how to exchange around for us to see how you do it. Our people in the background see how it is, how it hacks, how it works. Then we ask you to spend your money on an apple. And we set our systems to feed apple right across this planet. And we want to see how many of you had an apple. And this is why we did all these tests. You lot coming in and, you know, staying on lines in a quiet line is for us to test in the background. We even can, if you are paralyzed with our system, we can get you leg moving and get you mobile. You don't need to be with paralysis. And one of the knowledge seekers accidentally found this out by walking into our lab very recently while we were testing. So you have to understand everything is possible, but we have to bring the condition. The on energy is taking a year now, coming up online exactly after a year. The first lots actually came out months ago, and they were sorting out the problems, the teething, and then we had to get all sorts of things from Chinese government to support us, to give us lines and everything else, and then finding more problems. Now ONNs are 80% functional. 20% we can be done remote, hopefully, by our team. Once it's done, then when they tell us they managed to interconnect the internet to the structure, a new battery is getting developed that you don't need to plug into any power supply. This is going for test within the next few days in Keshe Foundation laboratories. What we call, you can give the battery to your grandchildren, and they can give it to their grandchildren, and they still be working. It's a GaN's process technology. And then once that's done, and our team in China stop mass producing the antennas, then you get the antennas, then we start connecting, transferring energy through plasma technology. Then we are 2 years down the line. 2 years down the line. But we still, till that time, we need a lot of support, a lot of help by even people who start helping us to test the coins, test the systems. Those of you who help us financially in the background, we own it all. Now it's on the move. It cannot be stopped. And if it stops, humanity won't have anything for thousands of years to come back. And it's the time to do it. And everything for it is there.
Yeah, this can't happen now, Mr. Keshe. This has to go forward. This has to take a position.
We're doing our best. Some of you around me, you know, I work 20, 22 hours a day.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mr. Keshe.
There are others who do. The team in China is working relentlessly around the clock. The team in Austria, the same. The team in America, the same. There's no time, day and night or whatever, I can't do. We have invested in our world peace, and we have to complete the cycle.
We're looking forward to it, Mr. Keshe, and I thank you so much. I think I've probably said enough. Shall we let somebody else?
I think so. I think so.
Mr. Keshe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Dean. Rick, are you there?
Yes. Are you ready for some more questions?
One or two recorded a day.
Okay. Well, we have 2 I questions. Perhaps we can combine them. Kirsten says something about the vertical people in the universe with the white eyes and rectangular pupils, like those of goats. Do you know what that means for their emotionality? How do their pupils affect them compared with
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well,
he watches too much sci-fi movies, I think.
Well, no, there's actually a thing about rectangular pupils in goats. I looked it up.
I'm talking about humans.
Yes, well,
once you learn the language of goats, go and ask them, see what they see. Carry on.
Okay. The second question is again about the pupils from Antonella. You said last week that the structure of vision is also linked to giving and receiving through the black part of the eye. I ask, please, if monocular myopia, for example, myopic right eye and the normal left eye, has anything to do with the soul and giving and receiving.
You got a physical damage, look at the physicality. The soul doesn't damage anything. You have a physical problem, you have a physical condition. Look at your physicality, the emotion within the physicality, and then see how it's connected to the emotion of the soul. I was explaining this to a doctor recently. In English language, we call it psychosomatic. It's actually SSO. It's a soul psychosomatic. All three of them moves together. Three snakes following each other. And if you understand this, is the organization of how these three work in one level and how you can use one to benefit the other. Soul of the man, psychology of the man, and the symmetry. This symmetry of the physicality fits to the work of the psychology of the man, which is controlled through this, what we call the spirit of the man, soul of physicality, and the soul of the man. The three walk behind each other like a duck. That's all you need to do, and that's all you need to achieve. And if you miss one, you have a problem. If you connect all three the wrong way, you have a problem. If you misfunction the soul of physicality with the physicality, when the soul is not happy, you are in the mess of the problems of cancer and the rest of it today. And if you keep the soul happy, physicality happy, but the soul of physicality is not happy, you end up with another cancer. And then if you're all three happy, you get the evolutionary cancer. Either way, you're dead. It's understanding the process. And then understanding how you manipulate the process. You can't break the process, you can't damage the process. But if you learn how to manipulate it, you have a best of life in both worlds, in all three dimensions. Any other question?
Okay, how about the one from anonymous attendee who says, when we mix together different liquid plasma strength, we actually are creating a bigger plasma mass. How can we roughly calculate the total plasma mass strength?
There are different ways to do it, and there are new technologies which needs to be developed to be able to digitalize it or observe it, to see it, to detect it, to analyze it. There are systems available. You have seen some of it, but you don't have enough knowledge to be able to interpret. We have shown these systems quite a few times in different Keshe technologies in the past years. But as you are not educated in the field, you don't see it. By the way, I see that thing there. Please register your place for the conference in Switzerland. It's going to be an amazing, exciting conference, what we call exhibition. And sorry, the French team, we can't pay you 4,000 to attend. But try to be there to learn, that you can teach the others how it is. We don't let it videoed, we don't record it to be published later on. It'll be recordings for the industries and governments, but not for our public, because there's a lot of things coming up that the governments need to sort out in the background and actually in public. Any other question?
Maybe you could quickly answer Breeze Jacko's question about, he says, some time ago you mentioned that you were waiting for the results of a study that was expected to be completed in June, concerned the contamination of the Baltic Sea by chemical warfare agents. And says, if I remember correctly, the research was being conducted in a former USSR republic in the area of a large lake. Has there been any update on that?
No, we just have brought a lady from Poland who she will take over there. She's expert. She's been in this job for 20 odd years. She heads the what we call environmental contamination of the Keshe Foundation, and they get the data to work with it. They get everything. She's fully competent in all three ways of contamination, and we'll be recruiting people with it. I met a specialist in water contamination from one of the universities, and I'm trying to recruit him into working with the lady. So this needs to be done. We have a guy who understands a lot about the waters in North America. He used to be in KF SSI teachings in, what do you call it, in south of Italy with us. We are recruiting, we're going back to the people we know who have the expertise in their fields. And the next, by the time we get to Zurich, you will see a lot of development on this side. Systems, technologies for sale, development technologies to come to change things, yes. But that has to be done by the experts, which now is becoming part of the Keshe Foundation in China. All these specialists work for Chinese cooperation of the Keshe Foundation in the Space Research Center. We have, I think this week, 2 or 3 new recruitments. Last week we had 2 or 3. We are picking up the doctors, the PhDs, the specialists at the moment, and we allowing them to build up their own team, or people with a long-term experience that they can support to build up their teams. At the moment, there's a flood of people gradually working towards Chinese space. We cannot move so fast. We have the premises, but we have to choose very wisely how we do. Our next target now is our factory for what we call 2 factories, which are on the run to be done. And once they are up and running, hopefully by September, October, then the other sides comes in. It's going through it's literally more or less is run by the knowledge seekers through knowledge seekers. And these are the people who bring the experts in, and they are working together. It's becoming an amazing team. And it takes time. It's taken years to come. But now management is split. It's not one-man band anymore. We did with Ghana, we did with, what do you call it, America. We lost 5 million. We never understood how 5 million disappeared. So what happened in Ghana, we trusted one person. And this repeats now. In China, it's a board. People have to, and expenditure is taken out of the hand of the directors. It's in the hand of independent monitoring, and everything is set up that way. Every penny is counted for by the way it's done. The same we have in Austria, the same will go with cooperation in America. It's a very funny situation if you sit where I sit. We are manufacturing in China, developing in Austria, and selling to the world through America. And we chosen the euro currency to be balanced, take care of the whole lot between the two with us. That's another thing. It'll be very hard for the world leaders to swallow, especially who are pushing for them to be ahead. Then we don't say is backed or is equal, is equivalent to. Any other question?
Regarding the exhibition or presentation in Switzerland, we had a question from Stefania, who asked, what is the best way to invite into the exhibition ambassadors or politicians or
It'll be done by the Swiss arm of the Keshe Foundation.
Is there anything that people should do about what
Yes,
just
a few more, couple more, 2 or 3 more weeks. It has to be done by a Swiss company. And Iranian ambassador is invited, the Chinese ambassador invited, the other dignitaries are invited, but it takes time. Yes, you have to talk to the team. Most probably it'll be handed through the, what we call the Swiss sector, which is getting set up. It's no use, to invite an ambassador, you have to be from the nation where you are. And next few weeks we'll start. There's a lot of things that need to be done in the background. We still have a lot of things coming in this week, next week, and then the structure. You know, the Keshe Foundation usually kicks into order 3 months before, and then the last 2 weeks is mayhem. And we are used to doing it this way, so most probably it won't be any different. Just keep an eye. It'll come. All your work has to come through the work through the Swiss structure. We support them. We bring people in to support them, and then it'll be done correctly with the backup of our team from China, the backup from Austria, and it'll be a collective delivery of technology in 2 days, primarily for the governments and industry.
So there might be an invitation letter, for example, at some point?
It'll be drawn up according to the Swiss standard. It'll be done by the Swiss team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Any other question?
Well, I think you probably want to wrap things up now.
Thank you very much. I can go and have a rest. I already done my 8-hour shift anyway.
Yes, sounds like you've...
You know, when I was working, you received the things early on. Thank you very much for today, and please support us with, if you are expert in the field of technology, if you have expertise, and if you, we don't want enthusiasts. We had enough enthusiasts past 20 years. This time we are handling it directly, has to be able to deliver. And if you have any expertise in any field, contact us through info@Keshe Foundation. And we'll go through the resumes, we'll go through the offers of what you can offer us, and then we come back to you if it is at this moment beneficial to us, or we keep it maybe in the future, we can use your expertise. We need a lot of support with this side, and we need a lot of support with being able to facilitate, to test the new technology around. Thank you very much for today, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you for yet another Knowledge Seekers Workshop, number 649 in a continuous weekly succession. Thank you very much for all your efforts and attention during those times, and all the wonderful concepts you've brought forward for people of this planet, among other gifts. And I think everyone is very thankful that all the knowledge seekers. And we're very fortunate to live in these times of changes and big changes where the technology seems to be coming through. All right. Well, thank you everybody for attending today's workshop. And let's have a look at our next public teaching workshop will be coming up on Tuesday with the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace. And that's Tuesday, the 9th of June. And no, sorry, that's Tuesday, the 7th of July, I should be saying. And I can't believe we're already into July already. Okay, so Tuesday, 7th of July, starting at 4 p.m. Central European Summertime. Again, the One Planet, One Nation, One Race for Justice and World Peace with members and support members of the Universal Council. Okay, I think that's it. Oh, I have to, the announcement from Lissy for the Universal Council here. And perhaps next week we'll get someone from the Universal Council to actually read the invitation, but I will do so at this time. It says, we, the Universal Council, invite the Keshe and Universal family present on the earth in unifying at the soul level every time, every day at 9 p.m. Central European Time. We, the Universal Council, give from our souls and invite all of humanity to elevate the soul of every leader in every nation, to work as one soul in one direction, to achieve peace as one nation, one planet, one race. Okay, thank you, Lissy, for delivering that. And now we'll go out their usual flight enhancement spaceship unit. And thanks again, everyone, for being here. See you again in one of our next public teachings, perhaps. Bye for now.
Pause or finished? Is it pausing or finished? Can I open the window?